Welcome back to the Marylanders on the Go. On this episode, we discuss 3 different classic trawlers that we've looked at recently at local marinas on the Chesapeake Bay. The first was a 2002 34-foot Mariner Orient. Next, we toured a 1983 42-foot Grand Banks Classic. And finally, we checked out a 1976 Hatteras long-range cruiser. Thanks for coming along. Okay, so we decided to do a little video here. We haven't done one in a little bit, so we were going to give an update on some of the boats we've been looking at last, I don't know, month or so, would you say?
Yeah, last couple months over the summer. These 3 are all in the Chesapeake area.
Right. So we were looking at 3 kind of classic trawler types of boats. And I guess the first one we looked at was a 2002 Mariner Orient.
34.
So, 34 foot.
Yep.
And it had, Marcia has her little notes here.
Yeah.
It had it was a single engine, right?
Single engine Cummins.
A single Cummins. 220 horsepower, and
that one had 1,275 hours.
So not bad. It seemed like, I remember when we went in there, even though it's a 2002, it seemed like an older boat. It was more of a classic, more like a Monk that we went on to, or like a, sort of a classic marine trader, like from the 80s or 90s. But maybe it was just kind of made that way.
Honestly, do you remember that salon in that one? It had a really amazing salon.
A great salon. Really, I love the blue, like the blue upholstery.
Yes.
And I like how it had the couches like on both sides.
Great.
So.
We always talk about like a nice conversation area.
Right.
That was really nice there.
So and the kitchen was nice, but it was small, and it was a little odd that the microwave was kind of in the aft cabin.
Keep in mind, it's only a 34-foot boat.
34 feet.
So they had to use space.
True. And it did have a true aft cabin, and it had a V berth as well.
Yes.
So, but the aft cabin had the separated beds, which isn't
actually
ideal.
All 3 of these we're talking about today had the separated beds in the aft cabin.
Right. So 2 separate beds. One is usually like a single, and one is like a double or something. But they did have 2 heads. Although, didn't you think the heads were really small in that boat?
That was something that was surprising, and maybe thinking about how they squeezed everything into a 34-foot boat.
Yeah.
Those heads. Very small. 2 wet heads.
Small. 2 wet heads.
Not just a wet head, because we would consider boats with wet heads, but a very tiny, teeny tiny wet head.
They were small.
Some neat features in that boat. Do you remember those rounded doors?
Rounded doors, and the great ship's wheel for the steering.
Oh yes, I have a note of
nice.
that. Yes. We don't think that boat came with a dinghy. It didn't currently have one, and it wasn't in the listing.
And what about the bow and stern thruster?
That one had a bow thruster.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, of course, all of these are basically slow trawlers.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Does the Grand Bank? We'll talk about the Grand Banks in a minute. But
I think they're all kind of slow trawlers. They're all like, you might be able to get up to 10 to 12, maybe 13 on a good day, but they're most efficient at 7 to 8 knots.
Yes.
So, all right. So.
And that one.
The price of that one.
$99,000.
$99,000. So that was a pretty good deal.
And
I think it's still for sale. So.
Yep.
Not that we're brokers, but if anyone is interested, it was a pretty good boat. It was a nice boat, but we didn't think it was the right one. It was a little small, it was a little cramped, and
we sure enjoyed touring that.
It was really nice. Okay, so the next one we looked at was
the
a 1983 Grand Banks. That was a 42 Classic, which, I mean, the Grand Banks, I love the Grand Banks. Everybody loves the Grand Banks. You have people that are like, they are Grand Banks people, and they're just so classic. They're classy. A lot of wood. Which is good and bad, right? This one had a lot of exterior wood, exterior teak, and you do have to maintain that. And you could tell in certain areas that it needed a little bit of work and maintenance.
Yeah, it requires some maintenance on that, and some parts had been recently maintained, and some were in need of the maintenance.
Right.
But one of the neat things about the Grand Banks, nice wide walkways on those sides, and not any steps at all. Just nice, flat, straight.
Well, you stepped up to the fly bridge.
No, I'm talking about on the walkways.
Oh, in the walkways, right.
On the port,
the walkways,
as well as the
just
starboard
straight.
side, just
no
straight.
Step down to get to the door, either the starboard or the port side door, which is very common on almost every other boat that we've seen.
Yes.
That's a good point.
they weren't covered walkways. It's kind of a bonus sometimes
that's
if
okay.
you do find it covered, but not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
We said that it had a really nice settee. A really nice settee. It didn't have a couch on that opposite side, so not so much that conversation area. And of course, remember that bar cart area.
Yes.
They're just
the Grand Banks
cool.
is neat how they do that.
Right. This Grand Banks had twin 135
right. Twin 135 horsepower.
There were 4
Lehman engines. Again, another slow boat, even though it is twin engine.
And this one had about 3,800 hours on the engines.
3,800 for an 83 Grand Banks. That's probably reasonable. I don't know if you're going to find too many. Have, 1,000 hours for a 40-year-old boat.
Grand Banks had the bow thruster.
Yeah, that was nice.
The V-berth was similar to the Mariner Orient, except for that. Do you remember the large windows? Instead of just little porthole windows, we were impressed by the larger windows.
The most amazing V-berth windows that you could imagine. No other boat that we've seen had such nice windows.
Correct.
And really in the aft cabin as well, but it was more obvious in the V-berth because you never see that.
Right. You do see it in aft cabins a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. But that was really nice.
And that guest head, so the V-berth head, well, the head that's closer to the V-berth, it was a wet head, but it was the better type of a wet head that you can have. So
and it did have a little curtain around it.
It had a curtain.
So you had a little curtain that you could keep water, but mostly the curtain was the whole
It was, but at
like.
least, I don't know, it just seemed like it would be helpful to have that. And then it had that separate shower head. You weren't using the same shower head from the sink.
Right. Yeah, because a lot of boats, you have, if it's a wet head, you have a sink faucet that you put up and you put it on some kind of a hook.
Right.
And then you use that as the shower.
Right.
But this one had a separate. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, so really
nice.
So happy to see that.
I feel like that was older and a lot of more
83
more hours, and I do feel like that we would consider a slightly newer Grand Bank, and that one it was in our price range. It was 134, so definitely in the price range. But if we could find one a little newer, a little bit better shape as far as the the wood and all the teak exterior, it is a lot of. We do have to realize though that everyone says there is some maintenance for those Grand Banks.
And we should mention that it did have a dinghy. That one did have a dinghy.
Actually, a very nice dinghy.
An inflatable one that was in the location that we like, which is at the stern.
Right.
Yeah, really nice.
Right.
Really nice day on that boat. And then
So then we toured a Hatteras, a 1976 Hatteras long-range cruiser.
Yep, 42
feet. And so that one was pretty good. So it was actually at the time on the market for $130,000, and we really liked it. It had everything we're looking for. Really, it had bow and stern thrusters. It's got solar. It had had NIAD stabilizers, which are we weren't even expecting to get that. And then it had like Nebo and AIS.
Oh, so many features.
All kinds of stuff that and it had an amazing dinghy.
Right. So this boat we took on a sea trial and went through survey with. So we got
close on this.
We got really close on this one. Really neat. A super cool aft. Exterior area that was set up with a really nice table
seating
and chairs
and grill back there.
Super nice.
Really nice. The flybridge had really great chairs, like a great captain's chair. Really great
captain and co-captain chairs, right?
And electronics, like the electronics were brand new, and they were
large
really
screens and everything.
Large screens.
And we've never seen a boat with this kind of a tender before. So this dinghy was a Boston whaler.
It was like 11. It was the 11-foot Boston whaler. I think 11
foot with a 20 horsepower.
20 horsepower Honda motor, and it had a full it was the console. It wasn't a tiller, so you had a whole steering wheel, and you had electronic start and everything. It was like. I mean, that was a great boat. That was worth, I don't know, that's probably 15,000 to 20,000. With the davit system also. It had a great davit system.
Electric winch, remote control.
Remote control. You could just lower the dinghy right into the water.
So easy.
And then it just pulled it
And we did lower it, and
It was so fast.
It was so fast that I was
Yeah.
at the, I think at that moment I was at the bow, and I knew that you guys were getting ready to lower it, and I didn't even run back there fast enough. It was that
Yeah.
quick and easy.
Yeah, it
Which
was.
we've often wondered, how easy is it to get these boats? Is this going to be a big, you know, often from their
Right.
their davit system into the water? Is it
Right.
is it a big pain? Well, this one was not. That was really
Yeah,
cool.
it was nice. It was
Did
really
we mention
nice.
the engine? That we had the 2 Detroit
It had,
diesels.
so it was older Detroit, the 453 Detroit diesels, but they had been completely rebuilt, and I don't even know how many hours the original had.
Yeah.
They had 1,200 hours on the complete rebuild.
On the rebuild.
And the engine surveyor actually said that these really were like, you can consider this 1,200 hours, like
Yeah.
not 7,000 hours plus 1,200. This is 1,200 hours, and they were in really good shape. The boat actually came in above average, although the valuation was lower than what we were, you know, what the offered price was, and but that's just because there's not very many Hatteras out there to even compare them against.
Right.
So it's really hard
comp.
to even do a
Yeah.
comp for those, and you don't find one with all the things that this one had, with the dinghy
Yeah.
and the bow and stern thruster and the solar and just all that stuff.
At the end of the day, with that one, we just felt like it would be a lot for us to learn.
Yeah. A lot of
maintaining the older
systems
boat,
were in
just,
there.
You know, as you can see, we're sitting on our boat now, which is a simple little deck boat that we,
Little
you know,
21-foot
so
Hurricane.
to jump up from this to a older.
Well, we know there's going to be
We
a
know
learning
there's gonna be a
curve.
learning curve,
That's
but just
fine. But
so
the thing
many
about this one
things.
is it had an old. It was an old Hatteras, which was a nice quality boat. But all the systems had been completely redone. So if you went and looked at the owner's manual to say, how does this work? Like, there's no sense in even having an owner's manual anymore on that boat, because everything had been redone.
It's hard for us.
To kind of
with
feel like we could
our limited
handle all
knowledge
that.
and I guess limited time at this point.
Right.
But
It would be a little different if we're both like retired right now, or we had
and
all
we're kind
day
of
to
taking
just
it on
kinda-
as a full-time project. But
Right. But it was too much of a job for us to try to maintain and keep up.
yeah.
So we decided-
we had to pass on that one.
We had to pass. That one is also
I'm-
still for sale. Again, we're not brokers for it, but
and that one is now, I believe, 113.
sitting 113.
Yeah.
Which honestly, it's a great deal. If someone
Oh,
I know
I
is
know.
willing to put the time into learning all the systems, it's a great deal.
Yes.
I would highly recommend.
Really
that
nice
boat.
people that have enjoyed it. So,
And we met the owners, and they're super nice, and they would help you. Like, they'd drop everything and help you at a moment's notice if you had a
Yep.
question. Like, super nice people.
yeah.
It was really great, but just didn't work out.
Yeah, so that's about those
So-
3 boats. But we wanted to show you guys the sunset. It has already set, but the sky's pretty.
Yeah, let's
And
see here.
We have Jenna on the boat tonight, and we even
Jenna's here.
Special guest appearance from daughter.
Yeah.
and then
here we are. It's a nice sunset.
show who's up front.
Oh,
Who's at the bow?
let's see what we have up front here.
And we have.
Oh boy.
She looks great
Penny.
in that pink sky.
That is Penny's
Penny
favorite spot.
Penny is very happy to just be hanging out on the boat. She just, probably her favorite spot. She doesn't like to go in the water, which is a good thing because we don't really like a wet dog. But she is enjoying just kind of hanging out on the bow while we're
Yep.
hanging out in here.
But it is nice. It's a Sunday evening. Weather's very nice, and yes, a pretty sunset. So
All right, well,
gotta love an evening on the water.
yep. All right, well, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed all the different boat tours. I know we did.
And you can kind of let us know which ones you like.
What do you think? Should we have gone for that Hatteras, maybe that Grand Banks? I don't know. We'll have to see. Well, we're looking more at some of the main ship 430s. That's kind of what we've been focusing on, and the Grand Banks. So anyway, we're still looking, but we're getting closer. We have a few on the horizon that we're kind of checking out that are currently for sale.
Some local and some not.
Yeah.
So you have to weigh that.
500 miles away, and we got to bring it here.
Things to think about.
There's that. Do we wait until the spring or wait, middle of the winter?
Or do we get the boat, but if it's in the south now, do we
leave it in the south?
Do we leave
for
it
the
in the
winter?
south because you probably don't have to winterize it? Where I think the couple are in South Carolina, so
yeah. So those are all things that are
things to think about.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Well, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.